PSA, PSA.
PSA, we were going to do the scheduled part 2 of Trainer Joe's 10 Rules of Weight Loss.
I know everybody was pretty pumped because it was going good. The first one did. We did 1 through 5 before.
6 through 10. We were going to do that today, but
this story came out. Oprah apologized, and we thought, let's hit this while it's on the minds of humanity.
Yes, so doing this today. Next week's, we'll get back to part 2.
6 through 10.
Get ready. Oprah apologizing, but for what exactly?
She's apologizing. She feels really bad.
Was the apology warranted, or is this more woke 2024 culture?
Is she doing it for the money?
Let's talk about it.
She's pretty rich, real rich. So I don't know what she's doing out there. But she apologized for adding to the toxic diet culture for her role, and she admitted using the weight loss drugs since she had 40 pounds.
We all remember the iconic moment.
Well, you don't remember. You weren't born yet, bro. But yeah, 1988.
Wow. Oh,
1988.
Man, that is wild. She comes out. You were just showing me the pictures.
Went viral.
You were showing me the pictures. I'll plug it in here. But she comes out and she's wheeling a wheelbarrow.
60 pounds of fat.
60 pounds of fat.
67 pounds.
She looks, is it okay to say, in 2024, she's thin and looking great?
She's looking good.
I just saw the picture and I couldn't believe it. That was
good.
So anyway, so that happened during in 1988.
88.
I'm assuming, you're right, I wasn't alive, but that she got a lot of applause and it was a really...
Oh, yeah, it was her victory moment.
Victory moment.
Victory moment.
So
look at
what...
me. Everybody's excited. Amazing. Now she's sorry.
2024 and she's sorry.
She's sorry.
Let's break this down.
Speaking on an Oprah special, and then it was called Shame, Blame, and the Weight Loss Revolution, she fought back tears as she revealed how the drugs had meant she was no longer constantly thinking about what the next meal is going to be. So I think to me, they're just saying, this is so hard. And now she's saying, she had a doctor and they're talking about, this is a disease, okay? Overweight, obesity is a disease. It's not... And she said, I loved when this doctor said it's not a moral issue. She said, oh, I love that. It's not a moral issue. I read it all before. I read it all, but...
Just that right there is pretty packed. The moral issue part and the disease part. Can you just give just a brief Trainer Joe on if obesity is a disease? I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say, but... Give it to us.
You know, you can define disease. I'm just saying I've seen enough people lose weight, keep it off for a significant amount of time or forever to where it's like, okay, if it is a disease, it's one that you can overcome.
How many diseases can you...
Yeah, how many diseases can you overcome? I don't know, but this is one you can overcome. Now, where people get upset, I think where they get upset is they're like, what do you know? And they look, what do you know, Trainer Joe? You don't know what people are going through. You don't know their situation. You don't know their health issues. Well, that's correct. I don't. But I've yet to meet a person out of the thousands that I've helped lose weight where I'd look at them and I felt like it would be right to say, you are the one that can't do it. It would be impossible for you to lose the weight you'd like to lose. Impossible. I don't think that's true. Now, here's where people need to listen, but they stop listening, I think, when you say something that makes them accountable. It's like, no, I'm not going to listen to this guy because I'm not responsible, I'm not accountable. Okay, well, that's up to you. But what I'm not saying is everybody should do it. It's the same difficulty for everybody. I'm not saying that. And I'm not even saying you're bad if you're overweight or choose to be overweight. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, it's my opinion that if you make it a high enough priority, you could lose weight. You could get to a healthy weight.
Do you feel like that statement, because I hear that statement and I'm like, duh. But are there genuinely people, like genuinely,
no.
And I guess I know the answer, that are going to hear that and say, no, that's not
here's
right.
a person that can't. And I'm fine.
So you'd say...
Maybe there is a person that can't, okay? Is it you? Is it you? Are you the person that it's impossible for? Is that what you want to hear?
Are you that special?
Yeah,
you're the one in a million?
Are you that special that it would be no matter what you do, there is no way you could get to a healthy weight. If they were going to pay you, somebody that had all the money, $1 million a day until you got to your goal weight, You know, whatever. You couldn't do it. Do you want to be that person? I don't know. I don't think you're that person. That's all I'm saying. I don't think you're that person.
Let's get back to the Oprah a little bit. So why exactly is Oprah apologizing?
Well, I think she would say because I've contributed to this toxic diet culture. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and lose weight. Quit being a wimp. Look at me. I did it. And she's going to say, well, but I starved myself. I was on a liquid diet. I'm like, okay.
So she actually said that, right? She said I was starving myself. Can you see what she
starved herself for nearly 5 months on a liquid diet before quickly regaining the weight after proclaiming victory on television. I don't want to come across like I'm upset with anybody. I'm upset with the lie. I'm irritated with believing a lie that keeps people stuck. Wouldn't you want somebody to tell you? Imagine the approach you're going to take. If you have an illness and the doctor says there is no cure, now go do your best, and you really would like to be cured, and then later you find out, actually, there was a cure. You could have overcome it, but you believed this lie, so you stayed there. I don't like that. And I think that's what's happening in this toxic diet culture is this. And it moves into this thing that I don't want to get into the weeds of this, but we don't want anybody to be responsible for anything in our culture today. And essentially, I think a lot of people would even go as far to say, well, it's always just somebody's perception. There's really no, when they said this is not a moral issue, I'm fine with that. Is anything a moral issue? Is anything a moral issue? Is it ever right to say you were wrong to do that? Because our culture is getting more and more to where there are no moral absolutes. Nothing is wrong.
That's the truth.
You get to a red light, do whatever you feel is right. No, you need to stop. Nah, you could just slow down. Who knows? Well, how's your day going? It's like there are no absolutes.
We don't want police officers. We want social workers.
Yeah, we want social workers.
All right, I don't mean to get too political here.
Yeah.
So
it's part of it, I think.
Let me just help me understand then. So she's apologizing, saying, yeah, guys, like I spent the last 5 months before coming out on stage wheeling the wheelbarrow of the fat that I lost and looking thin. I had spent the last 5 months in hell doing, what did she call it, a drink?
Liquid diet.
Liquid diet, and now I'm apologizing because I don't want you guys to have to go through that. Kind of?
Right.
That is my understanding.
And only to gain it back. Right? Only to gain it back.
When you hear that, do you have any kind of empathy of like, maybe she did do something too extreme and she should apologize at all?
No. Now, I do think that our culture, the complexity of our world we live in, makes it extremely difficult for a lot of people to lose weight. I certainly will say that. Extremely difficult.
Yep. And
there's a lot of tools out there that might be helpful. Right? Hiring a coach, working on your mindset, prayer, maybe even taking medication and exercise. But I would say all of these things are tools. None of these things are the answer. They're tools. But if you think Ozempic is the answer, which she's saying, I love it, I'm not preoccupied with food anymore. You know what the Ozempic is doing for her? Helping her starve herself to death.
That's not in there.
It's not in there, but that's what it's...
That's not in their promo.
It was toxic when she did it with willpower, but as long as she's doing it with Ozempic, I'm finally free. I'm not thinking about food all the time. I don't see that that's more virtuous. Okay, I'm just not sure that's a more virtuous way.
Why have I not really thought... Why I feel like do so many of us not think like that? That the Ozempic is just giving you an easier...
It was a tool that makes what you wanted to do easier. All you did was make it easier. Now it's not toxic anymore because it's easier for me now. Huh. Yeah, it'd be easier if you lived in a different country. It'd be easier if you walked every day. It'd be easier if you weren't under stress. It'd be easier if you liked vegetables.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a
little taller. Wish I was a baller. I don't even know what that means.
It's a rap song.
I'm just saying. So, is it ever appropriate to tell somebody, you need to toughen up? Suck it up, buttercup. You need to suck it up and move on. Is it ever appropriate, or is that always toxic? Was it wrong when I when I encouraged my two sons, Paul and Stephen? I said, I want you to run track. I ran track growing up, and it caused me, I think, to be tougher. because you're tired and coach says, go. And you're like, I'm too tired, coach. And he's like, go. And you don't get to sit there and say, I'm too tired. Go. But our culture is like, oh, poor thing. You're tired. Go take a nap.
Right.
And that's how we approach so many things now. Now, don't get me wrong. I like when people have compassion for me. I like when somebody comes to me and they're very empathetic and they're like, Joe, I know this is hard for you because I've had things that were hard for me. And I want people to be kind and helpful. I really do. But I don't want them to lie to me and say, this is impossible. You'll always have this problem. There's nothing you can do about it unless you take this drug for the rest of your life. So another thing I want to know
Go ahead.
is, so Oprah loves this drug. So does Whoopi Goldberg. So does Kelly Clarkson, right? They're all talking about how wonderful it is now that I've got this medication. So let's say 10 years from now, Oprah's dealing with what another friend of mine is with the drug, pancreatitis. Okay, so suddenly she's got these pancreas issues. So she's like, okay, Oprah, you going to stop taking the drug and just enter back into toxic diet culture now?
Your options are getting more limited.
Yeah, because here's another thing. I believe that we're responsible to be a healthy weight. I also believe you're responsible to look at what the side effects are of this drug and it's going to make you bleed from your ears. You might want to have second thoughts about it. Because there's lots of side effects. Ozempic face, Ozempic hair, Ozempic, all these things it's causing. Do we bear any responsibility to say, maybe I shouldn't take this because it's dangerous? Go ahead and take it. It's a tool, but that's what it is. And I think, don't you think a lot of people look at it like this is my solution instead of this is just a tool? Because ultimately, we don't want to say, I need to do this either way.
Yeah, that's good.
Because in my opinion, you need to do it with or without Ozempic. You're not off the hook just because you can't afford Ozempic for being healthy. Yeah. In my opinion.
I guess then what I wish Oprah would have done is come out and say, I lost all this weight doing something that was really difficult for me.
Really radical.
And I'm not going to come out here and say, everyone should do exactly what I did. I'm not going to put that on you guys, but I did it. I practiced a lot of self-denial, and it worked.
Right. I'm proud of myself. I had nothing but a liquid diet for 60 days. Instead of that was stupid, how about I'm proud of myself? I buckled down. I did this, and I'm not going to gain it back. Even though I did it this way, now I'm determined to keep it off. Is that horrible?
No.
Would she have been a bad person had she kept her weight off without taking drugs?
Mm-mm.
There is a syndrome called Prader-Willi syndrome. You ever heard of that?
I don't believe so.
It's a syndrome. It's a chromosome thing, and what it is, they diagnose it usually in children, and you're never satisfied. You never feel full. You're always hungry, no matter how much you eat.
Interesting.
Do you know what doctors tell the parents of these children?
I would assume that a doctor would say you're going to have to just tell them no, or else they're going to get huge.
These horrible doctors tell the parents, you're going to have to tell them no. Your kids are probably going to get up in the middle of the night and look for cake. You need to lock it up. You need to make it impossible for them to get the food because so many of these kids are obese, diabetic, they die young, they're overweight, they have these health problems. Yeah. And suddenly, these poor kids are entering in this toxic diet culture.
It's unfortunate, but it would be better for them to go around hungry
than to go around diabetic.
Than to go around
that's what I would
morbidly
say.
Obese.
That's what I would say. And I say that about everybody. Because I think we all have a little bit of Prader-Willi. Who doesn't want to keep eating after they've had enough? That's why I tell people, embrace the hunger. Yeah, I'm sorry you're still hungry. Who ain't hungry? I'm hungry right now. What do you got to eat? How about a Rice Krispie treat?
It kind of reminds me, and I don't mean to be insensitive, but I heard someone recently say, well, this other person they're addicted to food. They have a food addiction. They're always thinking about their next meal. Yeah. And it's kind of like, join the club, buddy.
Join the club, sister.
When there's so much good food around me, I'm excited for my next meal.
I'm excited right now. Does that mean everybody's the same? No. Some people are going to have a harder time with it. Well, that's the world. Yep. Guess what? If it was harder for you, the blind guy climbed Mount Everest. Guess what? He gets to write a book about it. Because it was harder for him than it was for you.
you going to be a victim? Or are you going
to have a testimony?
I'm an overcomer, yeah.
This man is on fire!
So, the ball's in your court. Which are you going to be? Your road might be harder than someone else's road. Your struggles concerning food and around food and food addiction might be more intense than someone else whose struggle is not.
We just don't get to claim victimhood because of that.
Something else. Someone, a different struggle. We all have our different struggles.
Doesn't mean
are we going to be overcomers?
And it doesn't mean you don't need compassion. It doesn't mean you don't need help. It doesn't mean you don't need grace. It doesn't mean you don't need prayer. It doesn't mean we can't be kind and gentle with you. But get over it and don't act like it's impossible or it's never going to happen. Is that what you want?
Trainer Joe Unfiltered. Are we being is Trainer Joe being too slap in the face and he needs a little more compassion?
Show some metal. Show some metal.
I think that terminology died out in the
M-E-T-T-L-E.
died out a few
it's
generations
like we're
ago.
just going to fly around and never have to toughen up and do anything. And as I say that, I can literally think of things where I need to toughen up and do it. So I'm humbling myself in that way. I know that.
Good.
And bring it.
All right,
bring the help, bring the encouragement, bring the conviction. I'm up for that.
You need to be able to sleep with less than 5 pillows. There's your first one.
I'm removing a pillow tonight.
Good. Hold them to it.
Down to 4. That's fair. It is. Life's tough. And we all want grace. We all want to find the ways, the path of least resistance. I get it, but there's going to be resistance, and we need to quit complaining and saying it's impossible for me. And we need to seek out the tools, but realize you're responsible and just do it.
How long is Nike going to continue with that slogan before they woke?
Did we talk about that slogan?
Before they wokenize it.
Nike would never get away with that slogan today.
If they announced we have a new slogan,
Just do it. Just do it. Oh, that's
cancel.
Oh, that's toxic.
Cancel.
That's toxic. You can't just do it. You can. Let's just call it. Just complain long enough till somebody bails you out. You don't have to pay back your own debt anymore.
Oh, don't you dare.
Well, that's the culture. That's part of it.
College was too expensive.
That's it. That's all I got on that topic.
Guys, seriously though, comment below. We want to hear your thoughts. We're engaging in the comment section. I've seen you engaging in the comment section. Do you feel like we engage in the comment section? Are we just seeing it too black and white and there's so much more nuance? Or are you kind of like, man, Trainer Joe is on to something here, and this is a wake-up call for me and for my friends?
Let's start a movement, y'all. Let's all decide. This is bull. This is bull.
No woke.
You want to do it, go do it. I understand you need help. That's what I do.
Anti-woke weight loss.
Yeah.
With Trainer Joe.
Anti-woke weight loss is what we're after here.
We love you guys.
Love y'all.
Have a great day.
Even you woke folk out there.
You're welcome to.
You're welcome to.
Trainer Joe, train your brain.
Transform your body.